Hello everybody, welcome to Life Lessons. Normally I have something prepared for you this, but this week I'm kind of flying off the cuff because on Thursday I was at a conference from Wednesday to Friday, but on Thursday I actually did a presentation. It was my first public speaking gig in quite a few months and probably my most important one in several years. So I wanted to talk a little about that and how some of the things we have talked about in the last few weeks affected this presentation. Now, if anything could have gone wrong on this for this presentation, it did. The day before I left for the the day I left for the conference, I got a notification from the person running the conference that at the hotel where they were holding the conference, a water main broke, which means all the conference rooms were flooded. That means at the last minute they had to change assignments for rooms. They didn't even know where our session was going to be. I get to the hotel. Fortunately, I was not actually staying at the conference hotel because there was no elevators, and they put all the people from our conference on the 6th and 5th floors. So even until the day of the conference, I couldn't actually even see where our room would be and where we would be doing the conference, where we doing our presentation. So I went up. So the day of the presentation, I went to the place where our session was going to be held. And it was interesting is it was in the middle of a bar. And so it's like, how is this going to work? There is no separation between this little room where we were doing our presentation and the bar itself. Fortunately, we had come to find out that the bar was actually closed for our presentation, so that helped out immensely. I had prepared quite a bit for this presentation because I knew it was going to be so important. And one of the things we talked about was that inner critic. Now, previously to this, you going back 2 years, 3 years ago, I probably would have let my inner critic run wild and said, man, you screwed up. You didn't do well. You should have done so much better. You have more just let it run rampant. But instead, after the presentation, I went to another session, and then we had about an hour before the break for dinner. So I went to dinner, and I did a sheet, and I did what I did well and what I could improve on. So I wasn't being an inner critic. Instead, I was being factual. I said, I did well here. At this point, I stayed pretty much the topic. I kept to my notes. Now, fortunately, I wasn't dependent on a PowerPoint because the computer wasn't working that they were supposed to use for the presentation, so I couldn't use my PowerPoint, which is fine because I was able to develop a presentation that wasn't dependent on a PowerPoint. And I prepared in case I didn't have the PowerPoint. I know I could have improved a few things, mainly staying on track. It's been a while since I did a speech like this, and so I needed to get back into the groove. There was a couple other minor things that were really minor. I didn't stay on time, which usually I am really good at staying on time. I'm a fanatic about time. Yet it ended up working out for the best anyway. So there, I was able, instead of having that inner critic criticize everything I did, I was able to look factually at the good and the bad of my talk and help improve for the next talk. So that is why it's so important to banish that inner critic. It's kind of interesting is there was a time when I couldn't even get up and speak in front of people. I was so quiet and shy, so afraid of my own shadow, basically. I was horrible. I just couldn't talk. And yet, here I am getting up in front of people these days and really being able to present myself and get point across. People were paying attention. I made them laugh. Now they say you should make them laugh, make them cry, and then motivate them. Well, I couldn't really make them cry in this situation because of the atmosphere of the conference. But I did make them laugh, and I did motivate them. I gave them ideas of what they could do for the future. Probably 70% of the attendees were actually master students, so some of it did not apply to them. But the ones who it did apply to were sitting there taking notes, and it's like I was reaching them, and it felt so good. So what lessons can we learn? Well, number one, practice may not make perfect, but it's going to be a heck of a lot better than if you didn't practice at all. Or number two, when you're doing a speech, don't be dependent on a PowerPoint or any other presentation skills, because you don't know what could happen. It can, just not be there. That's a problem with technology. It's great when it works, but if it's not ready, you have a problem if you're not prepared. Number three is take a serious look at how you did, but don't let the inner critic take over. Banish that inner critic. But look at the good and the bad of your presentation and what you can improve. Because next time you're going to do better. You're going to fix those problems you had the first time. If there's one thing I could take away from this conference is I tried the worst. I can get up and talk in front of people. And if I know you, I can talk to you. But the networking kind of stuff, the little get-togethers where you don't know anybody, I still hate those. I want to get to know people, but if there's a group of people talking, I still have I'm not going to go up to, I barely know, or only one of them I know, and start talking. Or even, it's just not me. I know some people can do that. And I know I need to get better at networking. The only way I'm going to build my career and build my future is by networking better. So that's something definitely I'm going to work on. Hopefully maybe as we go on here, it will help. And of course, that's part of life's lessons, what you have to work on. So I know this is a little different of a presentation than I normally do. Next week I'll be back with a regular presentation that more prepared. But I hope you enjoy the fact that I'm sitting here being open about what happened, and if you want to hear more of it, let me know. Put in the comments, was this good or was this bad, or what you think of it? Because I need to hear from you to know what's good and bad. If you liked it, hit that like button. And please, subscribe. There's a subscribe button down there. And hit the bell for notifications. I post every week, and I'm here to help you and help myself become better at what we do in our lives, the way we deal with people, the way we deal with our lives, and build for our future. So thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time.